Welcome to the New York City Housing Authority's Section 8 program, Annual and Interim Recertification Process, brought to you by NYCHA's Leased Housing Department. The agenda for this training will include Housing Choice Voucher Program Overview, Annual Recertification Process, Interim Recertification Process, and resources for Section 8 participants. Housing Choice Voucher Program Overview. NYCHA serves 1 in every 15 New Yorkers. With nearly 560,000 people, NYCHA's population is larger than Atlanta, Sacramento, or Miami. NYCHA serves 88,073 families in our Section 8 program, and we work with 24,681 participating private landlords. There are 7,793 units in our PAC-RAD developments, and as of March 1st, 2020, there are 9,994 project-based voucher units. The Housing Choice Voucher Program, or Section 8, works as a rental subsidy that allows families to pay a reasonable amount of their income toward their rent. Generally, at initial rental, families will pay at least 30%, but no more than 40% of their adjusted monthly income toward their rent share. NYCHA pays the remaining amount to the owner on the family's behalf. This payment to the owner is known as the housing assistance payment. The partnership in Section 8 is between the participant tenant, NYCHA, and the owner landlord. The document binding the tenant and NYCHA is the Housing Choice Voucher Section 8 voucher. The tenant must comply with all family obligations, rules, and regulations to remain enrolled in the program. The document binding NYCHA and the owner is the Housing Assistance Payment Contract. The owner must also cooperate with the rules and regulations of the program to continue to receive payments. And lastly, the document binding the owner and the tenant is the lease agreement, which is a contract between the tenant and the owner. The annual recertification process. Annual recertification basics. Section 8 participants have an annual obligation to provide NYCHA with information about their family composition and household income, asset, and expense information. Participants complete their annual recertification online through the tenant self-service portal. Failure to comply with the annual recertification obligation will result in termination of the participant's Section 8 benefits. What income should be reported to NYCHA? Participants must report all income for every household member to NYCHA. Even if the participant believes the income is considered excluded income, participants should report the income to NYCHA, and NYCHA will review the income source to determine if it should be excluded from the calculation. Common types of income. These are examples, which include employment income. This includes wages and salaries, overtime pay, commissions, fees, tips, and bonuses before any payroll deductions. Public assistance. Note, if the public assistance benefits include an amount specifically designated for shelter, then federal regulations dictate a specific formula for how to calculate this income. Social Security, SSI, SSD, and New York State SSP. Unemployment benefits, contribution income, which includes any regular contributions and gifts from persons not living in the unit. These sources may include rent and utility payments paid on behalf of the family and other cash or non-cash contributions provided on a regular basis. Notice of the annual recertification. NYCHA notifies each Section 8 household approximately 5 months before their annual recertification is due. The notice includes the date the participant's annual recertification is due, information on how to access the tenant self-service portal, and information on how to obtain help with the tenant self-service portal. Here's a sample annual recertification notice, which includes the annual recertification effective date, the date the annual is due. The head of household's name will be in the address line, and the current username to access the NYCHA self-service portal. Supporting documents for the annual recertification. When a participant receives the notice informing them of their upcoming annual recertification, the participant, head of household, should begin gathering all supporting documents for the entire household, which are necessary to complete the annual recertification process. Participants can use the list of supporting documents form included with the annual recertification notice to assist them in determining what type of documentation is necessary to submit. And please note, all documentation must be current. Here are some supporting documentation examples. For employment income, 2 current consecutive pay stubs, the current W-2, verification of employment form completed by the employer, public assistance, a current budget letter, Social Security, SSI, SSD, New York SSP award letters, contribution income, a written statement from the contributor indicating the amount and rate of the contribution, child support, statement from the child support provider, copy of the court order, copy of the court stipulation. And the last example, unemployment or workers' compensation benefits, current unemployment benefit statement or workers' compensation statement. Here's an example of the list of supporting documents, which include acceptable documents for proof of income, proof of assets, and proof of expenses. Annual recertification via the self-service portal. Participants can access their online recertification by logging on to the tenant self-service portal at this web address. The tenant self-service portal is available online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and can be accessed using a computer, tablet, or smartphone. The portal also uses Google Translate to translate the information into the language requested. Once a participant has logged into the tenant self-service portal, they should select Annual Recertification found on the left-hand side of the page, then select Start, Finish My Annual Recertification. The online portal will then guide the participant through the annual recertification process. For each active and new household member, the participant must also answer all the questions and complete all the entries regarding basic details, earnings, asset-related information, affidavit of student status, additional information, emergency contact information, third-party verification consent to release information, declaration of citizenship and debts owed to the Public Housing Authority, and also ensure that their phone number and email address are current and up to date. After the participant has completed their online annual recertification, they can log in periodically to check the status and view, print, or upload any documents that were not initially uploaded to the annual recertification when it was completed. The interim recertification process. The interim recertification process, a participant must report any change in family composition, income, assets, or expenses within 30 days of that change. An interim recertification may be submitted quickly and easily through the self-service portal using a smartphone, computer, tablet, or other internet-enabled device. If a participant does not have access to the internet, they can obtain the voucher holder's request for interim change form by calling NYCHA's Customer Contact Center at 718-707-7771. Once a participant has logged into the tenant self-service portal, they can select Interim Recertification found on the left-hand side of the page. Then select Start Finish My Interim Recertification. The online portal will guide the participant through the interim recertification process. Here's an example of the self-service portal interim recertification page. Participants must submit documents to support their interim recertification or interim change request. If supporting documents are not submitted, NYCHA will be unable to process the request. Examples of supporting documents include if the participant is reporting a decrease in income, termination letter from an employer, unemployment benefits letter, 2 consecutive pay stubs showing a reduction in pay, public assistance benefit statement, or SSI, SSD, New York SSP award letter showing a reduction in benefits. If the participant is reporting an increase in income, 2 consecutive pay stubs showing an increase in pay. Or if the participant is requesting to add an individual to the Section 8 household, then they need to submit a birth certificate, Social Security card, and income for the individual being added to the Section 8 household. After the participant has completed their interim recertification, they can log in periodically to the tenant self-service portal to check the status of the request and view, print, or upload any missing documents to the interim recertification. A participant's annual recertification must be up to date to prevent delays in processing the interim request. Resources for Section 8 participants. Contact us by phone. You can contact the Customer Contact Center Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. at 718-707-7771. And again, you can request a reasonable accommodation, update your personal information, have your owner schedule an inspection, and communicate changes in your tenancy. Walk-in centers are also closed to the public until further notice, while the city is under a state of emergency. Please email general questions to s8.info@nycha.nyc.gov. The tenant self-service portal is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, online. Section 8 tenants and applicants can access information about their case or application online via the tenant self-service portal. To use the portal, you must be listed as the head of household, have a valid email address, and a valid Social Security number. New users will be prompted to create a unique username and password to log in. To access the portal, go to NYCHA's Section 8 Tenant Self-Service Portal at this web address. Registered Section 8 voucher holders may use the portal to view basic case information, complete their annual recertification and upload supporting documents, request an interim recertification and upload supporting documents, search for available Section 8 units, view their inspection date and reschedule up to 1 time if necessary, request a special inspection, request a reasonable accommodation, and request a 5-borough or portability transfer. Here's a view of NYCHA's website. You can also access the tenant self-service portal via this website at nyc.gov/NYCHA. This concludes our presentation on annual and interim recertifications. Thank you.